How do you choose the right company to sleuth? I've said before there are mainly two methods, and there are some other ancillary methods. One method is to look at a superior company, decide what dirt cheap price you'd like to pay, put the price in, and wait for it to get there. It may get there once in 10 years, but you're sure to get a good company at a good price. The other way is to look for all the cheap stocks selling today to see which of them is of a good company. I left the question open of what is a good company? What is a company with a good business? How do you identify a good business or a good company? Let me give you again two extreme methods and two extreme sides of the analysis, plus a third method, which is closer to mine, that had been done by somebody long ago. One extreme method is the Warren Buffett method. The other, on the other side, is by Joel Greenblatt. And the third method is by Phil Fisher, who wrote a book many years ago, whom I see as the great-grandfather of sleuth investing. Let's start with Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett thinks that a good business has a big moat or a deep moat. A moat is, in essence, using the analogy of a castle surrounded by many competitors trying to break in. A moat is the big, deep ditch that prevents them from coming in. Warren Buffett said a CEO can make a company more valuable, not just by increasing earnings, but also deepening the moat that prevents customers from barging in and stealing its customers, which means you invest more and more in the brand name, you invest more in the product, or you invest in the quality of the company. All of these are things that you can see only by interrogating people close to the company and investing it, not just by the numbers, although the numbers can help. So one way is to look for a company's strength of business. I'm going to give you a method how to do that. The other way is to go strictly by the numbers. Joel Greenblatt, who wrote a book about a little green book that beats the market, he, in essence, looked at the company's return on capital as one number that encapsulates the strength of the business. If a company can increase the capital at a very fast clip, it is a good business. That's the purpose of our business, to increase the capital. And when you buy it? You buy it when you are buying the book value of the company, or you are buying this cash flow for a very cheap price. So, where Warren Buffett also looked at cheapness, he looked at the quality of the business in not just one number. Joel Greenblatt focuses on one number, return on capital. You can also look return on equity if you are in a hurry, and this number can also be good. And you look at how much you are paying for this. And paying for this can be the enterprise value, which is the total market capitalization plus debt, less cash. You try to see how much cash flow it buys you. You can look at the internet and find many more learned treatises about these two methods. So, one side, you look at the quality of the business. Second, you look at the quality of the business by only one number and try to buy it cheaply. The third method that I said is the method that was called scuttlebutt gathering. Phil Fisher was a mainly engineering investor. He used to go in California with a beat-up old car among all the tech companies and talk to the engineers and get a really good feel about the business. He went about it in sort of a very loose, unstructured way, but he was a very good investor. I do it in a much more structured fashion, and even if I do say so, I have some innovations on how to do it. But I have to tip my hat to Mr. Fisher. He was the great-grandfather of the method. It still leaves open the question of how do you get a feel for how good the business is. Let me introduce one more business genius, business guru, and this is Mr. Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker was a professor for many years in Claremont Institute, and he had famous 4 questions for gauging what the business is about. And an old professor of mine, Steve Brandt in Stanford, added one more question. And I use all these 5 questions together, plus adding a few of my own, to give you a very quick snapshot of what the business is about. The question is as follows. Peter Drucker question number 1 is, who is the customer? The customer, not the company buying the product from you, but the customer, by name, name of wife, name of dog, name of car, age of all of the above. You really have to picture of the customer in front of you. In fact, in the old Hewlett-Packard, there used to be a rule for the engineers: you don't start designing a product before you have a picture of the customer who will buy it on your board. So, okay, question number one, who is the customer? Question number two, what is the customer buying? Specifically, is the customer buying glitz and you are selling a Cadillac? Or is the customer buying utilitarian vehicle? You are selling him a truck. Is the customer buying a boast, which means he's buying a diamond and you are selling him a boastful diamond, in which case you better not sell it cheap because the customer won't buy anything cheap. To sum up, you really have to know who the customer is and what the customer really is buying. And once you know what the customer really is buying, comes the third question. What are you selling? Better be the same as two. Because if the customer is buying glitz and you are selling in value, there's a mismatch. If the customer is buying value whilst you are selling in glitz, he or she wouldn't buy it. It's not the same thing. So, who is the customer? What is the customer buying? What are you selling? But once you have all these three questions answered, why would he buy from you? Why not from the competitors? Is he buying from you because your brother is his cousin? Is he buying from you because he has to burn his budget before year end or it will be taken away from him or her? Is he buying because you are the only approved supplier but can't wait to leave you if somebody else is approved? You really have to know the answer to all these four questions. And if you know what they are, you begin to understand the business. Now, you can get much of this by looking at company documents and reading articles about the company and just looking at the ink and blips. But what you can get from the ink and blips is what people in the company say about it. Let's assume you talk with the salespeople, the R&D people, to suppliers of the company, to competitors of the company, and ask them what they think are the answers to these four questions. And you find that everybody in the company is answering them differently. The salesmen think the company is selling cheapness, while the engineers think the customers are buying value. Or the CEO thinks that the customer basically buying it because they are used to it. If people in the company don't all sing from the same choir book, if they don't all go in the same way, there's an issue there. It may not be an issue today, it'll be an issue tomorrow. So once you answer the four questions to your own satisfaction, you have to know if everybody in the company thinks the same. And if they don't, what problems are arising from it? So that's a very quick way. The fifth question is, the key overarching question is it a business worth doing? Because some businesses are barely worth doing. It used to be a question I used to put to CEOs of tech companies and I used to get them mad. Because the question is this, you are basically making a product that the company will take 6 months to consider and 6 more months to make up their mind. And once they do that, they'll take 3 months to pay you and they're going to squeeze you on price. And once they find that the product is good, they're going to buy more of it on very skinny margins and you're going to have to sell half your company for equity to finance this production. And you invested all your career in it and you invested your life savings in it, in a business that has skinny margins where the customers are ungrateful. Yeah, you can make some money, but you can make almost as much in T-bills. Is it a business worth doing for you or for any product line in the company? Is the product worth pursuing? Can you use your time and equity and engineering time for better use? In other words, the 4+1 questions give you a very fast snapshot if the company is a good company in a good business and if the business is worth doing. And once you know that, you can start sleuthing it and very quickly zero in on what the company is really about. Do that, take notes of it, and over time you're going to do it much faster, much more quickly, and you'll be able to eliminate not good businesses or not good enough businesses in order to focus your time on the good businesses selling cheaply. And if they're not selling cheaply, let me tell you again, you can put in a buy order for the stock at a dirty, cheap, insulting price and wait. And one day something happens, you come to the office, and what do you know? You bought some of it at a fantastic price. You do some more sleuthing for a day or 2 or 3. If nothing changed, you buy some more. If you do that, you're going to have much more time on your hands and also much more money. Let's go on to the next clip. I'm going to give you an example of somebody who's done just that, plus modify the sleuthing in a way that I copy to this day.